What's up YouTube, PCCSC here. Today I'm going to be doing a slightly different video in that I'm going to be comparing the Magic Mouse to the Magic Trackpad. Alright, basically you want one of these devices but you're not sure which one specifically you want. So that's what this video is hopefully going to answer. I should also mention that my opinions on these devices actually, Magic Mouse actually, in particular, does vary a little bit compared to other people, but still, hopefully this will explain things that maybe you didn't realize, because, like I said, my opinions are a little bit different, and not a lot of people mention one of my biggest gripes with the Magic Mouse that, is obviously really annoying to me. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a close look at each of these devices up close. So let's start with the Magic Mouse. Here's the Magic Mouse. Hello. Say hello to it. As you can see, unlike what I said in my review video, in case you're wondering, I did think that this was made of glass. This is actually a polycarbonate surface here, but it is completely touch sensitive from the Apple logo up. Alright, so all of this area, again from the Apple logo and above, is a multi-touch area that you can use to perform certain gestures. Now, on the sides there really isn't anything on the sides here, as you can see. And I should also mention that the way that the mouse works is that this whole top surface also serves as the clicker, so it's just one big giant button basically, as you can see. And it's actually more so like a rocker switch. I believe the pivot area is back here at the Apple logo. So if you click it, you might be able to see the back of the mouse rising up a little bit there as I click it. And on the back here, what you've got this aluminum chassis here. You've got these two rubbery guardrails. They're kind of hard plastic guardrails. Well, actually, no, not hard plastic. They're hard rubber guardrails. Like, they're rubber, but they're hard rubber, if you know what I mean. Anyways, and then you've got your laser sensor right there. Then you've got your switch, your power switch that you use to turn it on and turn it off. And in here you've got your batteries, and I've got some Apple rechargeables in there at the moment. So that's it for the Magic Mouse. Now taking a look at the Magic Trackpad, what you can see here, we've got this very sleek profile here. As you can see, it is pretty much all aluminum except for the touch surface, which is glass. So this actually is a glass surface. Alright, and in fact if you look at the very edge here, actually it's not really going to show up on video, but if you hold this up to a light while you're looking at it like this, it does kind of shine through green. Glass has kind of got a greenish, bluish tint to it. So yeah, it's glass. Trust me, it's glass. The glass has a sort of frosted finish on it, which gives it a really nice and smooth texture. It's not a high polish. As you can probably tell, there's my light bulb up there, and here it is on the Magic Mouse. You can see that this is very shiny, but this is a frosted look to it, and it feels really smooth. And it is multi-touch, just like the Magic Mouse, so you can, use your, multiple fingers to, do multiple gesturing and such. As you can see, it's a very thin profile, and it's got this, the power buttons right there, alright, and as you can see, it's currently turned on. And over here is the battery cover, and you use a coin to unscrew that, and in there are two AA batteries. Currently the stock batteries are in there. And on the back here you've got this white plastic. It's got a matte Apple logo right there, and it's got this glossy finish. These two buttons here are actually what cause it to click, so when you have this thing sitting on a table, you can actually move around and click, which is a really neat and nice feature. And you've got these rubber grips right here which keep it in place, so when you're using it, it doesn't move around very much. They could be grippier, I'm going to be honest and say, but they're actually completely fine. And yeah, I believe that is it for the Magic Trackpad. Alright, so now that you know what each device looks like, now we can go ahead and get into sort of, advantages and disadvantages, I guess. So let's go ahead and start, I guess, with differences. Difference number A, that's pretty obvious, is that this is a stationary, the Magic Trackpad here is a stationary pointing peripheral in that it doesn't move around when you use it. You simply just drag your finger along it, okay? And it just stays right here. Doesn't move. Alright, the Magic Mouse on the other hand though, like a mouse, you use it like this. This is how you move the pointer. You just move the entire device around on the table. And that is how that works. So yeah, that's obvious difference number one. Let's see if maybe we can get out of obvious mode here. One other thing I'd like to note about this in particular is that you'll notice they're both very low profile. As you can see, they're both very, very low profile. I just realized the focus is a little bit off. I do apologize. So yes, they're both extremely low profile. There's that. And you can pretty much tell also that that is pretty low profile too. Now, this is where a lot of people have a gripe with the Magic Mouse. Okay, let's get the Magic Trackpad out of the equation. Let's just store it under here for now. Okay, and the biggest gripe that people have with the Magic Mouse is that they say and they complain that it is just too unergonomic, if that's even a word. It's too unergonomic. Meaning that it's so low profile that it's actually uncomfortable. I do not see this actually as being a big problem. Let me see if I can get you a eye level shot of the mouse being used here. Alright, so here we go. As you can see, this is what the mouse looks like in my hand. First of all, I'm going to just do this because the act of me moving the remote away from the shot there made me think of this. As you can see, there it is up to my hand, and this is kind of looking down at it, so you're not really going to see. My hand is actually taller than the mouse. My hand is actually thicker than the mouse. But that's obviously going to vary. Some hands, if you're obviously a little bit younger, you might have a thinner hand than the mouse, but whatever. But this is pretty much how I use it, okay? And this feels absolutely fine. This actually feels really comfortable. This feels like a mouse, okay? This seriously just doesn't bother me one bit. I mean, I can use this and I can click with it. It's absolutely fine. I do not have any complaints. This is actually probably more so how I use the Magic Mouse, just like this. I mean, you can see how my fingers are a little bit raised, but that honestly doesn't affect anything. Sorry for having my hand in the way there. That obviously doesn't affect anything. You know, at least for me, I do feel that this is still pretty comfortable. Now, one gripe I do have about the Magic Mouse, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, is the left and right click system. If you want to left click, you know, you can just do so like normal, but if you want to right click, you actually have to lift your pointer finger up off of the mouse and then right click like that. Because then the only finger that's touching the mouse is the finger that's on the right of the mouse. So that would actually be recognized by the touch sensors in this mouse and would therefore, you know, produce a right click if you do it that way. But if you have it like this, it just assumes that you just want to left click. But you know, if I click with my if I actually push down with my middle finger, like, it can't tell because the whole thing, like I said, is one surface. There's just one button in there. So yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. But basically, the way the mouse's logic works is that if a finger is on the left side for any reason whatsoever, that means you're just doing a normal click, okay? You cannot have anything on the left of the mouse in order for it to register as a left click. You have to have only a finger on the right side of the mouse if you want it to register as a right click. So there you go. That is a gripe that took me a little bit of getting used to. I will also say that when I first played with the mice in the stores, the low profile did actually bother me a little bit. But, you know, eventually you just get used to it. I mean, you know, after owning this mouse and after having used them, some of my church and such like that, you do get used to it. And, you know, I mean, some people don't, but I did. I don't know. It's just one of those things. So do make sure that before you make up your mind officially, I would really recommend that you go into a store and play with both of these thoroughly. Because, yeah, I mean, they're not exactly cheap peripherals. I mean, both of these cost $79, so there you go. Each, actually. This is $79. 69, actually, I'm sorry, they're both 69. This is 69 and the Magic Trackpad over here was 69. So anyway, that is the main gripe, but that's actually not what my gripe is. My gripe actually has to do with the customization, and I might be showing you a menu of what it looks like here, what the customization thing looks like here. As you can see, it's absolutely pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. You can see, I don't know, I can't exactly remember offhand what it looks like, but it's like 4 options per tab, and you can see there's only 2 tabs that you can control, that you can toggle through. I think there's only like 3 or 4 per tab, and honestly, I bought the Magic Mouse because I thought I would really be able to customize it, and I would be able to put in my own gestures and make them do certain things. Like, you know, I could do maybe like a 3-finger triple tap or something, could bring up like you know, the force quit menu. That could do that. It maybe, you know, maybe a tap, like instead of clicking, if you tap like just once, you could maybe have that be a middle click. I mean, like, seriously, a middle click, like, that's actually would probably work out pretty well, actually. Or maybe a 2-finger single click, yes, but actually a 2-finger double click actually does open up mission control. So there you go. But maybe like if you just click like this, tap, you could have that be a middle click. I mean, seriously, like, that would be absolutely great. But I have no way to configure that because of the way that the Magic Mouse's setup is set up. So anyways, yeah, that actually is seriously my biggest gripe with the Magic Mouse. So let's just go ahead and move on to the Magic Trackpad here, because I've talked about the Magic Mouse quite a bit here. Okay, so moving on to the Magic Trackpad. So here we go. First of all, let me just go ahead and give you guys this. Obviously, it is, you know, as you can see here, it is very low profile, as you can clearly tell, but it actually doesn't really matter. Like, a lot of people actually say that this thing is quite ergonomic, and that the low profile, like, they thought maybe it would be a problem, but it's actually not at all. In fact, you know, even I would agree, this thing is very ergonomical. This is usually how I use it. I mean, this looks, I mean, like, yeah, this is, actually, I usually have it over here, so yeah, I'd use it like this, but, you know, obviously keep it in frame. This is how I use it. You know, I kind of have my thumb here as a sort of support for my hand, you know, kind of just to rest. You know, maybe I'll rest here. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even really know how I use this thing. It's just, you know, when I went to do the demonstration, this is what my hand did. So there you go. This is how I use it. Okay, and you know, I can move it around, stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, you use this finger here to point. And yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, that's how it works. Okay, it's actually really comfortable. Sometimes I'll just do this. You know, honestly, it just depends on circumstances. Like, what am I doing with it? Am I moving, like, just a little bit? Am I trying to make a precision selection here? Or am I going to be moving across the entire screen? You know what I mean? Like, if I need to move across the whole surface, I'm going to do that. But if I'm, like, just making a precise selection, then, you know, I'll probably have this sort of thing going on here. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, it's really actually a very comfortable experience. And this is how you scroll with 2 fingers like that. Sometimes it is a little bit finicky. Sometimes you actually might, you know, not scroll. It can be a little bit annoying, but it's actually really reliable in my experience. It's just not as reliable as it could be, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's how you do it. Sometimes I'll even switch to my left hand if I just feel like doing that, but obviously that's going to get in the way of the video here. But you know what, enough about how I use it. I mean, this thing, you know, you can tell it's actually not that bad of an experience. But what's actually really now, whatever. Anyway, that's besides the point. What I want to get into here is that, you know, enough about how I use it, you know, enough about how it feels and such, although, like I said, it does feel great. What I wanted to get into here is actually the options menu. The options menu, in my opinion, is infinitely better than the Magic Mouse. I don't know, again, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it here, but, you know, if you are looking at it, you can tell you've got just a lot of options that you can use. I don't even know how many tabs there are. I'm just going to go ahead and say there's 5, maybe 4, maybe even, maybe 4 or 5 tabs. I think that's about what it is. And just each of those tabs is just full of options. And you might notice in one of the photos, that'll be towards the end of it, because I'm probably just going to be having these fly by. The video feed will not be there. That is because or the little instructional video thing will not be there. That is because for some reason in safe mode, that one tab does not show up, and I have to take these in safe mode because my computer is still broken despite things that I've mentioned before. Anyways, that's that. So yeah, it's much more customizable. You can actually, like, you know, just tons of things you can do with it. Like, let's see, this you can use to do and you know, you can do this to do Launchpad, or yeah, Launchpad. I believe this, actually I really don't know because I don't really use these particular gestures a lot because they really lag in safe mode. But like this, I think is how you bring up mission control, or that or that. It's one of those things. I don't really know. It's one of those. And it's either with 3 or 4 fingers. I don't really know. That's how you bring up mission control. What else can you do? Oh, this is actually a really cool feature. You do 3-finger, I think it's a 3-finger tap like that. And if you mouse over a word that you don't know what it means, like if you're on the internet and you see a word and you don't know what it means, just put your mouse over it and then tap with 3 fingers. I think you just tap once, and it will actually look up the word in the dictionary, which is a really cool feature. You cannot do that with the Magic Mouse, okay? You just can't. I mean, really, like seriously, yeah, you get the idea. It's just so much you can do. What else can you do? You can do the pinch to zoom. Pinch to zoom does not work on the Magic Mouse. You can do that. You can do the rotate. Again, not available on the Magic Mouse. You can also... Let me just get this box here. This has a few things, although some of these gestures are outdated. You can do page swiping. I think page swiping has been changed since that box is... since that box was made, which is kind of annoying. Like, this is a new box and all. It's just, it still has snow leopard gestures on it, but I think you just do this to go back and forward. On the Magic Mouse, it's really annoying. I'm actually even going to move this over here to show you. To go back and forth, like in a web browser, if you want to go back and forth on a page, well, actually, no, I do not think this is true anymore, but I do know that back in Snow Leopard, and if you're still using Snow Leopard, this will still apply to you. In order to go back and forth through a web browser, you take 2 fingers and do this. Alright, and you have to go across the entire mouse for it to get to register. But like, let's say you maybe have sweaty hands, or your hands are just sort of sticky. Maybe it's just one of those days when it's really humid out and you're just feeling really sticky. The mouse is just not going to cooperate. You go to do it and that happens. The mouse just doesn't do it, and you just do not complete it, and then your cursor is all the way in nowhere to be found, and then you have to move around to find it again, and then you do it again, and then you have to maybe hold. It's really tedious. I absolutely despise that. I don't like that. I do know in Snow Leopard with this one, what you do is you take the 2 fingers and you just do that. Or was it 2 fingers? It was actually 3 fingers. It's not 3 fingers anymore. I actually really prefer the 3 fingers to what it is now. Let me put this back so it's not invisible, or so it's not in frame. It's like 3 fingers like this, but now it's... I don't even know what it is. It's like 2 fingers, but I actually don't even really know. I did like doing the 3 fingers thing, though, but I... excuse me. I do not believe that works anymore. So yeah, that's that. I mean, just tons of features. If you have a MacBook, you're probably familiar with a lot of these. So yeah, I mean, you can just do so much with it. So much more than you can with this mouse. I mean, really, unfortunately, I'm gonna even go through every single thing you can do with the Magic Mouse right here, right now. What you can do with the Magic Mouse: you can move it around, you can move the pointer around, you can click, you can right-click, you can scroll up, yeah, this is scrolling up now, and this is scrolling down. You can go back and forth through a page. Like I said, I actually think you take 1 finger now in Snow Leopard, which actually works a lot better. You take 1 finger and just do that. You kind of have to, I think you have to kind of get it going. Like, actually have to like if you're gonna scroll right or left, I think I don't really know how the logic differentiates between a left scroll and a right scroll and a forwards page or a forwards page and a back page. I don't know how the logic takes care of that, but it does somehow. I think at least. But that's how you do it now. Let's see. You can do this 2-finger tap to bring up mission control, and I do believe I mentioned literally everything you can do with the Magic Mouse. I literally think that is everything you can do stock from the Magic Mouse. Like I said stock there because you can't actually remedy this with third-party software, but I generally try to avoid that. I don't know. I just prefer to keep things stock. So there you go. Magic Mouse just not... And look, I mean, you see that? Look, that surface right there. It's multi-touch, okay? It can recognize like 4 or 5 fingers at a time. Why doesn't it take full advantage of itself? Why can't you take full advantage of this mouse? Why? It's seriously just unfortunate. Like, That's why I bought this mouse. I bought this mouse thinking that I could literally do anything and everything. Like, I pretty much, like, wouldn't even need, like, you know this top row on the keys, on the keyboard, this row right here? Like, that would even be, like, completely obsolete. Like, I was thinking, like, this, not needed. But, no, it's actually quite not. It's actually not that case. It's so limited in terms of the capabilities. It's just really, it really is. I haven't even... I don't even remember everything you can do with the Magic Trackpad. I don't even think I know everything you can do with the Magic Trackpad. Maybe I don't even know everything you can do with the Magic Mouse. I don't know. But what I know is that you can do a lot more with this than you can with the Magic Mouse. And that reason alone is actually why I prefer the Magic Trackpad over the Magic Mouse. Because the Magic Mouse disappointed me, okay? It totally disappointed me. I bought it thinking I would actually absolutely love it. And something else about the Magic Mouse, but there's actually fixed in Mountain Lion. Sorry if I... You know what, I'm actually even just going to switch to a different view here. Another one of my gripes about the Magic Mouse that I actually did not like, although like I said, this has been fixed in Mountain Lion, but... You know, I mean, it wasn't actually a big problem, but the tracking on this thing was horrible. Like, it seriously tracked so slow. You'd have to move it like this much to get it to move like a quarter through the screen or something like that. You'd have to literally like move it that much to get it to move like halfway through the screen. It was absolutely pathetic. This thing, on the other hand, though, actually almost tracked too fast out of the box, although I did find I actually thought it was a little too slow. So I just moved it up one notch and it was perfect. Seriously, it's perfect. Like, I love the tracking speed of this. This thing it does track faster now. It does track faster, but it's, you know, this honestly is just so perfect. I mean, like, this thing is still maxed out in its tracking speed slider, and it's just, you know, still just a little too slow for me. I mean, I don't like my mice to just blaze when I'm using it. Like, if I move it, like, literally, like, this much, like, I don't even know if you barely saw it, like, it moves all the way, like, halfway across the screen or something like that. That is just too much for me. I do prefer precision work with this, so I pretty much, like, I want to say, in order to move across the screen, I'd want to move it maybe, and in fact, I'm even going to visualize the mouse as I do it. Like, that much. Actually, that's actually kind of fast. Like, that much. That was actually a really good speed. I actually really would like that kind of speed. Maybe even a little bit slower. But, you know, I don't want to have to, like, move it, like, that much to go, like, halfway across the screen, if you know what I mean. This thing, though, I don't know. I'm trying to visualize the cursor in my mind as I'm doing this. Like, I don't have the computer turned on, but, like, yeah, I mean, I think I'd literally have to move like this much to get to move across the screen, or maybe even have to move halfway across the trackpad to get to move halfway across the screen. I don't even know. Maybe it's set up to be like you move halfway across the trackpad, you're halfway across the screen. I think that might actually be the way it is. I don't know. I'll have to check that. But all I know is that this is much better. It's just seriously much better. It's actually perfect. So, and let's see. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's why, because of the tracking speed and because of the gestures. It just works better. So, if I were you, I would recommend the trackpad over the mouse. However, let me also explain this. Okay, there's a few things I kind of wanted to explain here on the side about the Magic Trackpad and the Magic Mouse in particular. If you really want to have only Apple peripherals for your Mac, then I would actually recommend you get both. Okay, however, if you do not want, if you don't really care about that, then I'd recommend maybe get the Magic Trackpad and maybe a cheap Logitech mouse, or, you know, a Microsoft mouse or something, or whatever, just to have as a side thing. Because, and I haven't actually had to do this yet, because again, this Mac isn't really exactly in its best working order, yeah, I haven't really been able to try like photoshopping or video editing or any of that stuff. When I do get this thing fixed, I'm going to install SketchUp on it right from the get-go, so maybe I'll try that out. But things like doing like Photoshop work and, you know, even like Google SketchUp especially. Good grief, if you ever use Google SketchUp with a trackpad, I'm really sorry. It sucks. But yeah, if that's the case, you would really want a mouse over the trackpad. Like, there are certain tasks where the Magic Mouse does reign superior to the Magic Trackpad, because seriously, like, and I actually do find this to be a bit of a problem with the Magic Trackpad. This is literally my only problem with the Magic Trackpad, is the lack of precision when it comes to manipulating the mouse. Like, you know, you know, several times you know, on several occasions I accidentally click the wrong button or something. Hasn't resulted in anything too, like, catastrophic yet. Like, I haven't, like, clicked the self-destruct button instead of the, you know, like, other button I was trying to click or whatever. Not there is self-destruct button, but you know, I haven't done that yet. Like anything that would like completely change the way my computer works. It's just, you know, one of those minor things. You have to be a little bit extra careful with it because it's not nearly as precise as it is by moving the physical thing around here. Like this is just, you have much more control over this than you do this. This is just still sort of clumsy in my opinion, but I do prefer it. I just do. It's just so much better. In the build quality, like this is a nice build quality. This has a really good build quality to it. This though, this thing, the build quality is just undescribable. It just seriously is just perfect. Actually mine does have a few little issues, like my power button sort of floats a little bit, and you know, the batteries kind of rattle around if I sort of shake it lightly sometimes, but other than that it just feels like completely like sturdy. I don't even know, it feels perfect. So alright, anyways, yeah, I was just saying this thing, the build quality is just great. I mean really, it just seriously is. That and the glass touch surface and all that stuff. So I don't know, there you go. It's just, I would recommend the Magic Mouse or Magic Trackpad. However, not as your main pointing. I mean, actually, yeah, as your main pointing device. Like, you know, if you're like me, like you don't have a problem with the Magic Mouse's low profile design. Like, I actually really do enjoy the ergonomics of this mouse. I mean, sometimes I do feel like, this is a little low, but not really. In fact, it just doesn't really even happen with me anymore. I actually am just completely and totally used to it. But, you know, like I said, you really... and you know, actually, even for gaming, if you want to play video games on your iMac, or your Mac in general, whoa, sorry, not the Magic Mouse, no, not even the Magic Mouse for that, alright? You would want a regular mouse for that, alright? Seriously, if you want to play video games, neither of these. Both of these are out of the picture here, okay? Completely. If you want to game on your Mac, you don't want any of those, okay? Unless if maybe there's some sort of a mod or something you can use to maybe have this, like to work with your HUD or something. I don't even really know that would be able to take advantage of something like this. But seriously, out of the equation, you would want to get a regular mechanical mouse. And what I mean by that is like just any other mouse that does not rely on, you know, like multi-touch gesturing. Like you don't scroll like that. You'd actually have a physical scroll ball that you scroll on, you know, or a physical scroll wheel, excuse me. You'd want that because I've tried playing like Minecraft on this thing with this mouse, and it's really, really hard to do because it's just so easy to accidentally scroll because this thing is so precise that when you're scrolling, like it just picks up everything. And like when you're playing something like Minecraft or something where you use the scroll wheel to switch to your items, even just like the tiniest flinch on this finger will detect it as a scroll and it'll like move to the next item. It's really touchy. No pun intended. It's really touchy though. Literally, it is really touchy. So you have to be, I wouldn't even think about buying the Magic Mouse if you want to play, if your primary use for your Mac is to play games, okay? In that case, and sorry if I'm out of screen, I actually have the camera off to the side here. If you're one of those people who does that, I would actually recommend that you use the Magic, or actually none of the Magic things, none of these. Just get a regular mouse. So anyways guys, I've rambled on enough in this video. I don't even know if I'm going to upload it because it kind of turned out kind of weird. Not weird, just kind of long and rambly. So, but whatever, I guess that is just the way it's going to be. So maybe I will upload it. So anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I guess post your opinions in the comments. Actually do, because if anyone is actually wanting to figure out which one they want to get, you know, maybe looking through the comments will act sort of like a forum to them and they'll be able to know a little bit better from, you know, a larger sample size, I guess. So anyways, that's going to do it for me guys. Thanks for watching, and adios. I do like that little light there also. That's something that's also not on Magic Mouse. That very hidden stealth light. Like we probably didn't even know that was there until I pushed that at the beginning of the video, because I did push it at the beginning of the video. So yeah. Anyways, maybe you forgot about it since then and now you know again. You're like, what? Where did that come from? It's just there. It's just there. It just is. Now it's gone. But it's still there. Yeah. I love Apple for that. I seriously do. Okay, that's enough. Thanks for watching. Adios. Boop. Actually, I can't see it on the screen. Gosh darn it.